As we predicted, Twitter is trying to circle the wagons, as it were, to protect Joe Biden against himself, to protect him from himself. The Trump campaign, Donald Trump himself and a lot of his surrogates, were posting this video around social media over the weekend, and it was a clip from Joe Biden's rally where he accidentally, so whether it was accident or not, the Democratic candidate should never, ever even utter the words, "We can only reelect Donald Trump. We cannot win this reelection." That shouldn't even be in his vocabulary at these events. But he said it. Trump campaign responded by cutting that up into a nice little 14-second clip and posting it. Now, obviously, Joe Biden didn't endorse Trump for president, but the left went crazy over it and is claiming that that's what Donald Trump and his campaign are alleging. Let's watch the 14-second clip real quick.
And turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. We can only reelect Donald Trump.
And they're all laughing at him. Now, what he meant to say, and obviously if the clip was longer, you would have heard this, what he meant to say was that if Democrats continue with the circling firing squad attacking each other, then the only result will be reelecting Donald Trump. Obviously, the Trump campaign and Donald Trump himself have no obligation to share Joe Biden's rally in its entirety. That's what a clip is called, right? But the media, Twitter and fact checkers, are accusing the Trump campaign of misquoting and of deceptively editing the video. Now, this is a clip. This isn't a deceptive edit. Deceptive edits are supposed to be like deep fakes. If you've seen that video making the rounds of Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland being inserted into that scene from Back to the Future digitally, that's what a deceptive edit is supposed to mean according to Twitter's policy. It's a deep fake. It's editing the video to completely change what they said. This is simply a clip. It's simply a clip. The Trump campaign fired back because Twitter is not enforcing this rule fairly across the board. Now, we know that when it comes to censorship, the liberal tech companies only really seem interested in censoring conservatives. If it truly was an equal playing field, you'd see liberals getting banned. You'd see liberals getting censored. But that's not the case. They only seem interested in coming after conservatives and President Trump. So here is a video that the Trump campaign brought up, and they sent a letter to Twitter's CEO basically saying, "How dare you accuse us of manipulating footage by simply cutting out a 14-second clip when you allow posts like this to go up and stay on the site." So this is a Joe Biden campaign video that he put out at the beginning of the month, March 3rd. So let's watch it, and then we'll go through it a second time, and we'll pick out exactly where they've selectively edited this video. Let's watch.
I'll be damned if I'm going to lose my country to this man at all.
Ready? Cameras rolling. Bing, bing, bing.
Global warming, and a lot of it's a hoax.
Coronavirus. This is their new hoax.
Why are they now emerging from the shadows?
Very fine people. The American dream is dead.
If Donald Trump is president, everything that's made America is at risk. Time for us to get up. Take it back. We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over division. We choose truth over lies.
Oh.
On Tuesday, we have a chance to change.
All right, so those are the parts. First of all, very interesting that they didn't go with "we choose truth over facts," which is the famous Biden gaffe. They actually took the clip from his stump speech where he actually said it right. "We choose truth over lies." That's funny. So let's go through quickly the BS from this. So this part right here, coronavirus.
This is their new hoax.
Okay, so that has been completely blown out of proportion, and it's been fact-checked, and independent fact-checkers have confirmed that this allegation that Trump called the coronavirus itself a hoax is false. What Trump said in this rally was the Democrats' response to the coronavirus, their politicization of it, right? They're turning this into a crisis that they can take advantage of. That is the hoax, not the virus itself. So right here, it's a lie. That was, you see that edit where he said coronavirus, and then they had a little hyphen, and then it jumps to the next clip where it says this is their new hoax. That is manipulated. That is manipulated video under Twitter's terms. It is putting two different cuts together, not only to take it out of context, but to change what the candidate, in this case Trump, actually said. So that's completely bogus. Now let's look at the next one.
The new hoax.
Why are they now emerging from the shadows?
Very fine people.
So that one is also a lie. Donald Trump did not call neo-Nazis very fine people. If you go back to the video of Donald Trump in the lobby of Trump Tower, where he gave a press conference after that rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, after that protest that got out of hand completely, he was asked to comment on what was going on. And what Trump said was true. He was talking about these clashing protests. One side wanted to keep Civil War statues up, the other side didn't. And when Trump said there were very fine people on both sides, what he meant to say, what he was actually talking about was the people who were there just for the statue, the people who were there to make sure that violence didn't break out, right? Everyone who went to those competing protests, everyone was not a white supremacist as the media claimed. And if you actually go back to the video, 50 seconds after Trump says there were very fine people on both sides, he clarifies that remark and says, and I, of course, am not referring to the neo-Nazis, to the white supremacists. So this clip, again, from Joe Biden, selectively edited and manipulated to make it appear like Donald Trump was calling them very fine people, when the video that it was pulled from includes Trump saying directly that when he says very fine people, he is not referring to white supremacists and neo-Nazis. So that is another complete lie. But Joe Biden's not done.
Fine people. The American dream is dead.
So that is from Trump's speech. I think that was actually from Trump's speech that he gave when he initially launched his campaign in Trump Tower coming down the escalator, though he did make those claims a lot throughout the 2016 campaign. That part of Trump's speech, the American dream is dead, he would then follow it up by, but I will bring it back bigger and better than ever before, right? Something along those lines. But with me, I'll bring it back bigger and better than ever before. When Joe Biden's campaign just cuts out that clip, right? Cuts out that clip to make it seem like Trump is just saying that the American dream is dead. That too is selectively edited. It is manipulated content to try and change the actual meaning. So the Trump campaign is absolutely right. Twitter, we all knew this, are not enforcing the rules equally against Democrats and Republicans. They only seem interested in going after conservatives, people like Trump. So yes, of course, we have to call this out. But the fact that even after Trump's campaign sent this letter to Twitter, and it was a pretty scathing letter, after they sent this letter to Twitter, that video is still up, right? This video is up. There's no warning that it includes manipulated content, that it includes deceptively edited content. And don't expect there ever to be that kind of warning, because this whole thing where companies like Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook are promising to fact check, they're not promising to fact check liberal content. They are only promising to fact check conservative content, because their goal this time around is to prevent what happened in 2016. They believe that Trump won because he was able to weaponize their platforms to win his election. They claim it was by spreading falsehoods, right? That the only way Trump could have possibly have beaten Hillary Clinton was to lie. That's truly what they believe. So this time around, they are putting their fingers on the scale. They are deliberately trying to take down conservative content to make sure that Trump can't use their platforms to win again. So we have to push back on this. We have to call them out when they're caught doing this. And you got to keep sharing content. We got hit last week with a bogus fact check from some ridiculous, I've never even heard of it, hoaxalert.leaguestories.com, a fact check. And their entire fact check was based on a transcript of a cell phone video where they basically heard one word differently than we did. That was their entire fact check. And Facebook used that to claim that we were peddling fake news. So when you see stuff like this, when you see what Facebook is or Twitter or YouTube, when you see those warnings saying that this is fake news or this is slightly false or this is edited, watch the video. Because that is content that Facebook does not want you to watch, specifically because they think it will help Donald Trump's re-election prospects. So watch it, and yes, share it, spread it. They're doing this because they don't want us to share this content. So you need to share it. Obviously, don't violate any of their terms of service, right? Do this by the book. But yes, if you see something that is worthy of being shared, share it. Do not let these liberal tech companies police your opinions, because that's what they're trying to do. This is 1984. This is them trying to prosecute conservatives for wrongthink. And if you do it too much, they're going to deperson you. That's what they call it when they kick you off social media. They get rid of your online personhood. So really, we have two options. We can either go along with it and let them police our thoughts and scrub everything we post for wrongthink, or we can keep publishing the truth. We can keep sharing the truth. Honestly, I choose the latter, and I hope all of you guys will too.